dive into those first couple years. Did you have a lot of struggles, ups and downs? Did after the year one, did you get some success? Can you walk me through some of
Yeah.
those beginning years?
Yeah, so I would say the first 2 years were really terrible. And that's just being honest. And I think that, again, is mostly because of the market. The market was terrible. I was brand new. I didn't know how to do it. My motto after that was, you know what? I'm going to fake it until I make it. And if I'm going to show up at listing appointments and act like I've done this for 20 years. And if they have questions, I'm going to get the answer. I'm not going to say I don't know. I'm not. So after the first 2 years, I started becoming more and more confident because I had heard no already. And it was like, what do I have to lose at this point? So that made me really more and more confident. And I think I started getting more support at that point. But it's still hard for people, again, that don't own a small business or don't work from home. It's just hard for people when they don't see, like you said, they're only seeing that fun side. They think, oh, okay, you guys are cute. You just show up and open the door and let people in. That's, like you said, that's not what we do. There's so much more. Yes, our job is fun. Yes, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But when there is terrible times, the market's slowed down now. That's changed, and we just constantly have to reinvent ourselves. Just like all marketing and branding, you're always changing. So after the first 3 years, I would say I really started doing pretty consistent business and doing well. The last 5 years or so have been awesome. Really, I build my business now on referrals. That's where I get pretty much everything from referrals, past clients. And I'm office manager as well now, so I help train agents too.
Okay, awesome. So in those first couple years to kind of get that momentum going, have you always been a self-starter? I mean, because getting into the business, like, look, I got in. The people that have listened to my story know, like, if I didn't have my mentor, my team lead, I wouldn't have made it into this business, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here. It's just
Right.
not who I am.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go and figure it out. I needed someone to show me the way.
Yeah.
But then you have people like yourself. So it's like, hey, I'm going to go do it on my own. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to, make it work.
Yeah.
What were some of those things that you've kind of focused on, in those first couple of years to kind of get that momentum going? And did you have like a mentor? Did you have a coach? Did you have someone there that was kind of helping you, at least guide you down the right path? Or are you just always a self-starter?
I would have never thought I would be a self-starter, but I think, in all honesty, what made me so motivated was having kids, because it was living paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. I didn't want to, sit around and worry if we could go do something. I wanted to start going on vacations and get the house that we wanted to live in. And so for me, that was motivation to build a business and have that second income. My office, I have always been at Saxton. They are a small company. I have had multiple big companies try and recruit me, and they are very family oriented. Our boss is great. He is 91 years old. He comes to work every single day. So if I had a mentor, I would say it's probably him. He has also helped me get into rentals. He's just a motivation of, hey, you know what? Maybe you can have it all, and you can be with your family, and you can build this business, and leave a legacy behind ultimately, which is what we're trying to do. So
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think it was, a lot of agents struggle with the why,
yeah,
and your kids were your why, right?
yeah,
And that's the thing, like when you have the why and you know what your why is,
yeah,
that's what's going to get you through the down. It's not necessarily getting you through the high side; it's getting you through the downside,
right.
right?
And
Um,
I think it's become even more important now as my kids have got older, because they're watching you. They're watching, okay, what happens when she goes to work, and what is she doing here and there? And, like we talked about, if they don't want to go to college necessarily, they might want to do a trade, or they might have something else that they want to do. So I think it's really important, especially now.
when did you start kind of making that pivot to really wanting to help other agents get into the business?
So It was probably, honestly, when Lacey came in. So probably, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago or so. It was really fun to have her. And again, I had been to other offices, talked to other agents. And the number one thing I kept hearing is when we go somewhere, it's so competitive and people don't want to help us. They say they do, but then we get there and they don't. And for me, I just thought, you know what? There are so many people selling houses. Why as agents do we have to tear each other down when I'm not going after the same people you're going after? So for me, I think that's when it all started. I liked sharing my experience and I liked giving that what I didn't get when I started. And I think it's a good thing. Why not share your wisdom? It doesn't take away from you to help someone else out, I guess is how I have always thought of it.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, that's, I've always helped people just from our team, coming onto the team. And then, it really kind of expanded in about 4 or 5 years ago. And then now it's really my focus because someone like yourself, right? You were someone that was always going to figure it out, right? You were going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Someone like myself, there's more, I believe there's more people that get into our business that are closer to me, and I think that our industry is broken in the sense of how we can bring someone in that's licensed, that just got licensed, and how to get them up and running.
Yeah.
To where, they need a lot more of that one-on-one type training. And I believe that everyone should have a coach, and I believe that everyone can be a peer to someone, right? If you're on the same path, go find someone that if you're selling 15 houses a year,
Yeah.
go find someone that's selling 15 to 20 houses a year, right? You're on the same path and you're going to be able to get, work together to get better. Obviously your coach or mentor is going to get you to that next hump.
Right.
And then I believe that you can always coach someone to get to where you're at.
I mean, that's the thing. We all needed help in the beginning. I still
100%.
need help every day. But that's exactly what I said, as far as when I started, was looking up to people who is successful and what are they doing that makes. So it's the same kind of thing. And I remember going to some networking meetings even when I started, and there were some agents who are super welcoming and open, and then there were others who are, well, I've sold 100 million in a year, so I don't want to talk to you. And it's like, but I'm the one that needs to talk to you. I'm not stealing your business, but it would be great to learn, like, what are you doing? So I definitely think it's important. There is enough people out there that we can all just get along.
Yeah. Well, my aha moment when it really hit home to me was, I think it was about 4 years ago. I think it was like 2018. Um, I want to say at the time we were right around 170, 160 to 200 transactions, somewhere in there.
Right.
And I was like, how many houses actually sold in 2011 when I got licensed? So I went back and I pulled those stats from the MLS. Luckily, they still went back that far. And in 2011, there's about 20,000 homes that sold.
Right.
And I was like, man, this is the most that our team has ever sold at the time. And we wouldn't even been 1% of the market
right
in our MLS back in a bad market. And from that moment on, I was like, well, I don't compete, like very rarely. There's times where, you might go on a listing appointment. They might interview 2 or 3 people, but very rarely are we, when you meet a buyer, typically they're not meeting with several agents to pick the right agent, right? Unfortunately, I think they all should be, but and very rarely when you go on a listing appointment, especially if you're SOI based, right? They're probably just going to choose you. You're just going out there to show them all of the marketing, the pricing, and who you are and how you operate.
Exactly.
And for me, it's just raising the bar. Everyone talks about raising the bar of the industry, but agents don't want to help agents. And I think there's a change now in our industry to where that's changing a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's awesome that, you're taking on that role and really want to help agents. So now, is it just you and Lacey building a team? Do you have agents underneath you?
So, with just Lacey and I now, we had gone back and forth about, we had someone on our team before, gone back and forth about adding people. Another reason that Lacey and I made a team is between us, we have 9 kids. So we are really in that time of our lives where our kids are super busy. So for us right now where we are, it's good for the 2 of us. I think we have a hard time finding someone yet that we have wanted to just come in and be on that. But
Sure.
at our office, that's where I train everyone. So we have other agents at our office that I help out. And it, you know, if someone comes along that fits, that we're like, hey, come join us, then definitely we're open to that. We're not there at this moment, just too much going on.
Yeah, no, I get it. And